Hello and welcome to the opposition preview with me, Ady Packham from Radio Reverb in Brighton from the Albion Roar show. Right, Brighton this season, 3 league games, 2 defeats, 1 win. Quite frankly, no one would be complaining if we were 9 points in this season already, because the performances have certainly merited that. But we know that performances don't necessarily win football matches, and despite all the plaudits we've been getting, we've just left those points out on the pitch again. I mean, the performance against Manchester United on Saturday, I left the Amex feeling absolutely drained, devastated, and trying to work out exactly what the hell had just gone on. Now, obviously, we know about the top 6 bias from the referees, and we know about Fergie time, but this was just an utter I cannot even find the words to describe what it was. But for us to equalise on 50 seconds after the ball goes up for 5 minutes, which there should have only been enough time for us to kick off, for Man United to kick off again. Somehow the referee managed to find another 3 minutes, in which time we managed to concede a penalty. No complaints about the penalty. It was a penalty, despite the fact it was awarded after the final whistle had gone. Cue much head scratching and trying to work out exactly what the laws in regards to that were. If you're wondering, it's if the referee has left the pitch, then he cannot give the penalty. Unfortunately, he hadn't left the pitch, and we had no time. But the fact is, the penalty should not have been awarded, because the full-time whistle should have gone 2 minutes earlier. Again, we played Man United again in the League Cup this week. We gloss over that because it's just not... We wanted to progress. We got a long way in this competition. We don't normally go very far in this competition, but it was a good experience for some of our younger players. But it was a stronger side than we were expecting to be put out last night. But you know what? It was a soft goal to concede, and we should have equalised, and they went on to get another 2 goals. So we move on. In terms of the transfer window, okay. We all want that 20 goal a season striker, which is as rare as rocking horse poo. And the window's not quite over yet. We've got another week to go. We're hoping to find someone. There's lots of rumours of people, but if you're hearing rumours, it's coming from the agents rather than the club, and we can't really comment on the speculation. There's people we'd like, obviously, but whether they're available and prepared to come to Brighton, we're not the biggest payers in the league, so we have to go with whatever our budget is, and we're not going to sign a player just for the sake of signing a player. But we have brought in Adam Lallana, who's fitted in straight away. He's a real leader, a positive influence on the pitch, and if you saw him coming off the pitch on Saturday, the way he was berating the officials for what they were doing, I'm not going to use the language because this is a family show, that let's just say he was not very happy about the whole situation. We also stole Joel Veltman from Ajax, a player that should have been worth about 25 million in the current market, and we picked him up for 900 grand. So that's excellent business. There's been a few players for the development squad, but whether we get to see any of those, some of those have gone straight back out on loan. So we'll talk about that when you come down here later on in the season. In terms of Everton's progress this season, well, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? I mean, how much fun is it for you to watch your team at the moment? And how long has it been since you've been able to say, I'm having fun watching Everton? You made a brilliant appointment in Ancelotti. He's a proven winner with a great track record. He's getting his ideas across, completely revolutionised your midfield, and bringing in James Rodriguez, which is a player I've always had a lot of time for. I mean, that goal of the World Cup and the player of the World Cup in 2016, I think it was, well, it was absolutely magnificent. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of very impressed with what you've done so far, and it's nice to see that you've got a tune out of Calvert-Lewin, because Harry Kane's always injured, and we're going to need a decent English striker leading the line in the Euros in the summer. In terms of our goal for this season, we just want to finish as high up the high up the table as we possibly can. Our record finish in the top flight is 13th, so to equal or better that has got to be our aim. But we're Brighton, we know where we're at, we know what we've got to do. And it's, like I said earlier, getting the plaudits for our performances is all well and good, but it's getting those points on the board, which is the most important thing. The likely lineup for Saturday, we're likely to see Ady Packham come back from his 3-game suspension after getting sent off at Newcastle. It was we can't argue about the red card, but it was probably more orange possibly, but we can't really gloss over that. But he's been an important player for us, probably our most improved player over the last few months, including the coming back after lockdown. And he's like our midfield metronome. But other than that, we're not going to see an awful lot different from the team that played against Man United on Saturday and should have beaten them after hitting the woodwork 5 times. 5! It's a record. 5 times. Also, we've got Tariq Lamptey, who you should rightly be afraid of. He's a live wire. He will run at you, and no defender likes being run at, particularly at the speed that he does. And we're really lucky to have him. And he's great. A final question you got here: the best or strangest time I've met a celebrity or footballer? Well, living in and around Brighton, you get to meet a lot of footballers and a lot of celebrities. But I guess the strangest time for me, I used to run the busiest pub in Europe at Gatwick Airport, and we used to have all sorts of people coming in there once. But there was a time when I refused to serve Oliver Reed, the famous Hellraiser, who could not. He said, "Do you know who I am?" And quite frankly, I didn't know who he was. He was absolutely off his head. And we had a obligation to the airlines not to let people get too hammered. But we had people like Todd Carty coming in disguise, Alex Higgins coming in being absolutely, well, he was off his head as well. Loads of people coming in. But and footballers, Guy Butters nearly broke my back in a dodgem once, which was interesting. But yeah, it's always been fun meeting these crazy people, and long may that continue. But here's to the 3 points to the Albion on Saturday. Sorry, Toffees, the points are coming back south. Thanks. See you soon.